United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cleese.
Here.
Mr. Nova.
Here.
Mrs. Burns.
Here.
Mrs. Delaney. Here. Mrs. McBride.
Here.
Mrs. Nova.
Here.
Mr. Ritter. Dr. Singh.
Yes, here.
Mrs. Morgan.
Here.
All right, welcome to the study session, Monday, May the 20th, 2024. So let's get started. We had executive last Thursday, May the 16th, from 7 p.m. to 7:30 in the LGI, and we discussed legal matters. We also had executive tonight at 5:30 and finished up about 5 minutes ago, personnel and legal issues we discussed. So we're going to go ahead and get started with a presentation by the Gateway Education Foundation, which I am very excited to hear from you guys.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Reed, if you don't know me, and Colleen Cardamone-Jones. So we are here tonight to thank you for your support in relaunching of the Gateway Education Foundation. As many of you know, this foundation was originally established in 2005. We've spoken with many of the previous members, and it was a huge asset and highly received at its time. We've been working diligently with staff, alumni, students, and community members to bring this amazing foundation back. We are very excited to share this with you today, and thank you for your support. The GEF was beneficial to students and staff when in full operation. They supported programs like classroom projects via mini grants and enhanced and engaged student learning and staff creativity. Our purpose for this foundation is to we will utilize it to offer new opportunities for staff and students and look forward to growing its maximum potential for our district. The Gateway Education Foundation logo is featured behind me and the mission statements for this foundation. The mission of the Gateway Education Foundation is to fund endeavors that will empower, inspire, and uplift students by promoting community support for excellence in education and facilitate academic achievements that will improve the lives of the students and teachers and enrich the environment and educational experience within the meaning of the 501c3 in the Internal Revenue Code. We'll accomplish this by engaging the community and support through implementation of efforts designed to foster community collaboration for public schools, supporting district-wide learning initiatives, encouraging teacher innovation and excellence, responding to emerging student, family, and staff needs, and fostering collaborative projects with community partners. We are committed to making the GEF a success again and collaborating with stakeholders to ensure the best for our students, staff, and district at Gateway. So thank you so much for your time for this evening. If you have any questions, we are here.
Who writes the grants?
We could be doing that as a team. We also have some Gateway graduates that is their field of expertise, so we could be reaching out to them because they have agreed to be members of the GEF.
And teachers are able to write grants for their specific.
Oh, the mini grants. Excuse me.
Oh,
yes.
Both. Well, yeah, both.
Mm-hmm.
All of you.
Apply for them.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
We're working on getting the site up and running, and once it's up and running, we hope to just make it very user-friendly, where they can just click on there, complete their grant applications, have mini grants, and eventually have 2 larger grants, maybe one in the fall and one in the spring. A lot of big goals.
Mr. Bova had asked in our meeting about the application for who sits on the board and is things as far as that. Do you have?
Yeah.
Sure.
My understanding was you were given a copy of the bylaws. If not, we can make sure you're given them, and you'll see the different board positions. We are then hoping, with the help of you and Dr. Rossi, to bring on staff members, teachers, personnel through the district. We have a list of community members that are very excited to be part of this as well, not only for donations, but input and their expertise to help make this program a success.
any board members that would like to collaborate.
Absolutely.
So basically, we are just like anybody who wants to the goals like of the district, who has this invested interest. It's like an open door policy. We're not gonna, we have the philosophy that the more minds we bring together and collaborate, we're very open-minded and we want to do this together. Not just 3 people can do this alone, not just 2 people can do this alone. We are working in tandem with you guys. And then also, it's not like, no, we want people from the community. We want families. We want the students even, because we're doing this for them. So eventually, whenever we get this up and running, we want their input too, because we might be totally missing the mark. They might say, oh, I would love this. I would love this. This would be really helpful. And we might be able to make that happen, or we're going to do our best to try.
And at this time, there's no member fee either, so that will make it very appealing for anyone to jump on board.
I was hoping that maybe we could have a core meeting. I know that I had mentioned having an event at the middle school and make it some type of a fundraiser, not eliminating an open house for the entire community,
Yes.
but an opportunity to raise some funds to assist the foundation. I think
Absolutely. So one little problem with Colleen is the second you mention an idea, she is out there big and far. So
I'm
she
sorry, I'll
heard
be right
you.
behind her.
She
I'm
heard you
Energizer
loud and
Bunny.
clear, and would love to have like an alumni gala. And you two, yes, will be planning.
So I have a couple of people from the community that reached out. So maybe if we can have a meeting with the core group of people to make sure, we're following the bylaws and your lead and a liaison.
Well, where,
He's not with us.
There's our liaison right there.
where is the application?
Pardon me?
Where is the application for membership?
We are still revamping that. We're still in the process of revamping that.
Okay.
And then we want to kind of make sure that the final product is ready to go on the site. So it's a work in progress.
So who is approving all what you're doing?
The GEF board.
Which
And like-
consists of,
Right now, it consists of Dr. Rossi's on there. It's like how it was set up before. So we have the president, the vice president. So Lisa and I have kind of taken that on because we're the ones like doing a lot of the work and so forth. And then the secretary is Janet. That's how this was all set up by default whenever this started. And the treasurer is Mike. And so we're so grateful for all of that.
Liaison is jacked over.
Yes, we want you in.
So we have good representation.
Yes, absolutely.
Doesn't it, Colleen, doesn't it say in there specifically, like, you have to have X amount of, I haven't read it for a while, but I have it sitting on my desk, X amount of community members, X amount of teachers. Isn't there a very specific guideline established in there?
There was, and we did not want that to hinder us. So of course, we don't expect 500 to show up, but if 500 show up, we will take you. But we will be kind of handpicking key people from each building that we know are good representatives, even possibly from the GEA, things like that, that can represent each building. Whoever else would like to join, absolutely. But we want to make sure that we have representation from each building for sure. And then anyone can be a member, then we have our board.
Oh, okay, but I mean, talking about the board itself, is there specific guidelines that were originally established?
Yes.
Now, since our superintendent is on there, you would be the one to select the teachers, because Mr. Macarelli, who we've been wanting to name the building for, everybody wants to do that, but that's another story. Anyway, he was on there, and I think he was the one that helped choose teachers back in the day when they started this a million years ago.
Just plan on working with the principals and the teachers, and we'll put out a survey. We'll ensure we get every building represented. We also want every area represented too, departments,
Okay.
special areas, electives, the arts, all of that.
And we want to make sure that the community is plural, which includes Pick Aaron, are represented too. We don't want to slight any of them in addition. Okay.
Yes, so we
Absolutely.
can have that meeting because I do have some community members that have reached out.
Great.
Wonderful.
We're
interested.
Yes, we welcome that.
So,
Yeah, we have future envisions of, all of the different, the PBIS program committee, the GEA, let's all work together. We shouldn't all be reinventing the wheel. We can each own our own individual responsibilities, but we should all be collaborating for the greater of Gateway.
Parks and Rec also.
Fantastic.
Talk to you. They want to be involved.
Great.
Awesome.
Great.
I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
just have one quick question. Okay, you've been established since about 2005. Now, in between that, are you just now reorganizing?
Right,
Have you
yes, we
been
were
dormant or
reigniting
whatever?
it now.
Yeah.
It kind of went dormant. Yeah.
Went dormant.
In 2014, I believe some board members just got pulled away in other directions, and then no one kept spearheading it. So there's actually some funds still waiting there that Mike looked into us. They're ready to go. So we have a little bit of a bucket to start with. Colleen has been working her tail on off, and she is ready as soon as it's ready to go. We've got funds ready to come in, so we're like ready.
This would be supplemental to grants that teachers already write out on their own, because we just had, or are we going to filter? We have to talk about that.
Yeah, and I think they're going, once we have a core meeting, they can kind of
just curious
explain
how
a
that's
little bit more, because remember, we've had a lot of students just recently, the FBLA student
Yes.
that came in, who was in need of funding, and we've had other situations where, I'm thinking about the musical or whatever. I'm sure they're going to have an application that has to be filled out, submitted to request assistance. So it's to, they make it easier instead of someone having to go through all the red tape.
Mike, since it was dormant and there was money sitting there, did you have to go back to the state and do anything to let them know?
It's in our own, it's one of our umbrella conflict activity kind of ring out.
Yeah, but you didn't have to let
No.
them know because you
No,
weren't
'cause-
filing any paperwork to the
Well,
state.
no, we file federal tax
Oh,
return.
you did every year? Irregardless, okay, that's what I wanted to know.
It's like March of every year. It's not a normal.
Yeah, it's a different cycle.
It's a different cycle, yeah.
Yeah, I know it is.
Well, thank you, and if you can send me an email so we can get a meeting together and get the ball rolling, we'll be able to assist you guys.
Sure.
Thank you, everyone, for your support.
Thank you so much.
All right, comments from residents on agenda items.
Someone please tell me what GEF is, Gateway Education Fund? Foundation?
Yeah.
Foundation? Oh, that's
Foundation.
Okay, that's GEA?
Gateway Education Association.
That's the teachers.
Teachers.
Yeah. Sorry. It took me a while to learn what it was too.
Let's see.
All right. So we have a couple of action items here. Oh, no, I'm sorry, board member discussion items. Anybody, anything?
This is real quick. This is an FYI for the parents. Dr. Rossi checked on this. The kids got, bye guys, the kids got library cards from the Monroeville Library last week. And what happened is some parents already have cards. So just to let the parents know, there are 2 cards with 2 different numbers on it. So when you go to the library, just take both cards so you can find out which card you're going to use, because some of the parents found out they had 2, and when they matched them up, the numbers were different. So it's no big deal, but when they go this summer, just take both of them and talk to the librarian and let them know that you have 2 cards with 2 different numbers.
Anyone else? All right,
So
so,
then the issue of 2 parts.
Yeah, what happened, Dr. Singh, the people the children already had a card with 1 number on. And when they came home last week, they got another card through the district and the Minerva Library, and that card has a totally different number. So the question was, does that supersede the existing one, or do they have now 2 active cards? So the best thing to do, and
You have 2 active. They're both linked.
yeah, so if the parents, just so they know, take both cards. If you just want one, they can do whatever with the other account or
So
whatever.
they have to pay balance.
Different, they're just different cards. So
No, I think
both linked.
and everybody can do it.
different colors?
I don't think the
I
colors.
think they look the same
Yeah,
as,
yeah.
yeah, I don't think there's
My
different.
car is kind of peeling off and it's in three sheets now.
It's time for you to get a new one.
Get a new one. All right, so we have a few action items here. The first one is voting on the.
Sorry.
Oh, let Mike do it.
Sorry, you did a good job, that was perfect.
I had to be 8. Go ahead, Mike.
Just to clarify, I'm not telling.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Monaco. Action item 4.1, advertise and place on public display the proposed final general fund budget for the 24-25 fiscal year. Item 4.2, approve the estimate from It's All Clean for pressure washing the stadium seating area.
Item 4.3, the employment of 5 individuals for both the early literacy and extended school year programs. Item 4.4, approval of the 16 independent volunteers as listed.
All right, and
So moved.
Val made a motion and a second. Second. Leslie, second. Any discussion, questions? We want to make sure that, and Leslie had brought this up, wanted to just confirm and let everyone know that with the independent volunteers, there's still clearances that they have to make sure that they meet the qualifications, and that approval will take place with you, correct?
Correct.
Andrea?
Yep.
All right. All right. Do I do a roll call? I want to send a roll call.
Aye.
Mrs. Burns,
Aye.
Mrs. Delaney,
Aye.
Mrs. McBride,
Aye.
Mrs. Longo,
Aye.
Dr. Singh,
Aye.
Mrs. Williams.
Aye.
All right, ayes carried. Go ahead. All right.
All right. We'll go down to list of bills, Mike.
Thanks, Dr. Rossi. Financial report 6.1, list of bills for May 2024.
They're listed for your review. And then we have some personnel. Ms. Jessel.
Thank you, Dr. Rossi. We have the 3 resignations as listed, along with the issuance of 2 supplementals as listed. It's important to note for those supplementals, those are for the current academic year. Those are not for next school year. Just for everyone to note, and rates will be determined for next meeting.
Just for my information, Brian King, he has to resign, why couldn't he retire? What is the difference?
He's listed as a resignation. He has resigned from his position at the school district.
So, I mean, he had been here a number of years.
Yes.
And we could have gracefully let him go.
But he wasn't a full-time employee. And he hasn't, I mean, he's been here for some years, but not a lot of years.
Yeah. And this is a voluntary resignation that he has made.
7 years. He's been here for 7 years. Yeah. He wasn't full-time.
Oh, here comes Ray.
You can say. Okay.
Can I ask a question about supplementals? Do these people oversee the students to help them do the painting? I mean, or they just do the painting? How does that work?
They're the primary painters who coordinate with the volunteers that are working with the musical to help them accomplish the task.
So they
But they are
oversee
the
the
primary
kids.
responsible
They have- okay.
parties.
I just want the kids to have that same chance to do that. So
Yes.
They oversee that.
My understanding is the musical has done a wonderful job of utilizing all resources available to them to ensure that all are coordinating to help get the production across the finish line.
A question also, resignations we have for custodians, they resigned already. Now, do we have individuals to replace them?
We've posted the bid and are following the bidding process in-house. We have 1 substitute custodian already in the pipeline and have feelers out for additional. We've had applications come in the recent months.
How are we with staffing as far as custodial?
We are fully staffed with the exception of these 2 positions. So having substitute custodians has been few and far between, but as we've discussed with other roles, the part-time positions are very difficult to staff across the board in the district at this time.
Thank you.
Item number 8.
Thank you, Dr. Rossi. 8.1, agreement with the Delphi Education Services for the 24-25 school year. Item 8.2, addendum to Allegheny Intermediate Unit Comprehensive Services Agreement for school-based access program support for the 24-25 school year. 8.3, addendum to the Allegheny Intermediate Unit Comprehensive Services Agreement for waterfront learning services for the 24-25 school year. Item 8.4, Amplify Science, grades 5 through 8, for public display. 8.5, approve the purchase of Open Gate System pending budget approval. 8.6, approve the workshop with the Fred Rogers Institute at St. Vincent College, June 5th, 2024, approximately $850, personnel to be determined. Item 8.7, approve initial QBS training for Ms. McCrellan, Ms. Cheslock, Dr. 3, and Ms. Griffith to become safety care QBS trainers July 9th through the 11th in Pittsburgh, cost $2,050 each for a total of $8,200. So Amplify Science, what is it? The Amplify Science is the science curriculum for grades 5 through 8 that's on public display. I see. So it's not like a company? It's not like a corporation or something? No, it's their curriculum resources.
Is the Fred Rogers Institute early learning?
No, it's not specified just for early learning, no.
Okay.
It's going to be for staff member, K through 12 staff members
Okay.
for professional development.
How many people do you want to send?
Probably,
We're shooting for like 20. It's going to be mostly principals, administrators. We're meeting with Dr. Kane that day, around 20.
Is it 50 a person?
It's a flat fee.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I was thinking the same thing you were. What is, I really don't know, what is the Fred Rogers Institute?
Explain it.
it's an extension of St. Vincent's College that looks at some of the things like early literacy, but our plan is to offer some professional development to principals. We're also meeting Dr. Anthony Kane out there because he's a faculty member at St. Vincent. So he's going to share some information about some of the things that he learned with the district and some of the guidance that he gave us with our principals and also our new DEI coordinator, Dr. 3.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for section 8 before we move on? Mike?
Thanks, Dr. Rossi. 9.1, approve the Gateway Middle School change orders as listed. Item 9.2, approve the Allegheny Intermediate Unit Marketing Communications Agreement pending budget approval. Item 9.3, Forbes Road and Career Technology Center 2024-2025 budget summary and general operating and administrative budgets. Item 9.4, extension of the current liquid propane gas service agreement with Federal Gas for the 24-25 fiscal year. Item 9.5, agreement for continued participation in the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services administered school-based access program for the 24-25 fiscal year. Item 9.6, disposal of old equipment, furniture, and various other miscellaneous items that are no longer serviceable for the district during the 24-25 fiscal year. Item 9.7, approval of the final proposed general fund budget for the 24-25 fiscal year. Item 9.8, approve of the homestead and farmstead exclusion real estate tax assessment reduction for 2024. Item 9.9, approval of the proposal for the GT grandstands for the additional handrails at the stadium and Gateway High School. Item 9.10, approve the quote from Made in the Shade blinds for blinds at Gateway Middle School. And item 9.11, approve the quote from Penn Fencing Corporation for the fencing work at Gateway Middle School.
questions. The change order for the cafeteria slab for Terrazzo, which I understand either way we were going to occur this based on what they said. Why is it being split? Why is the cost being split?
You mean in here?
513, the date 513.
Yeah, it said on
order
the
42.
actual change order, it says that shared costs
Their cost for repairing.
yeah, half the cost. This change order is for half the cost incurred. Why? Are we splitting this, or are we adding another 6,500 next month?
It was my understanding they had to put extra terrazzo in the cafeteria, so we're splitting the cost of the carriers.
This is for the slab underneath that was cracked.
Right.
So this was for repairing that slab, which I understand, and
Yeah.
they make a point of whether it was terrazzo or the vinyl tile we were going to use, this still had to be done. That's
So-
all understood.
right.
The thing that's not understood
The
is
shared.
they're saying half. Are we gonna, or is someone else paying the other half, or are we gonna be paying the other half later? Why does it?
Okay, I'll read you the description.
Yeah, in the document attached, it
Yeah.
We'll check with Doug
says
if he's
that.
available.
It was
Clarification for next week.
Well,
Mike.
it's a shared cost for repairing cafeteria slab. So are they,
Does that mean they were taking the other half? They also came up with 6,500 and
That was my understanding. I'll double check with Doug when he's available. It was a $6,500.
they removed the slab and agreed to split the cost with us, half the cost. But we'll get a better explanation off of Doug when he comes back.
Well,
and I read the other change orders make sense. I read those. And the 9.2, the marketing and communications agreement, what made the decision for 1 year instead of 3?
I think we just wanted flexibility to see how it was going.
Okay.
How it went next year. This would be time. 3 years.
Do we think the cost will increase?
In the first agreement, it did increase by, I think, by 4%.
Okay.
So it probably will increase.
Okay. And the budget summary for Forbes, Jack, we talked a little bit about that.
yeah, we have the summary. One of the things that has been discussed a couple of times is Forbes has, much like us, a number of facility issues. And the couple they have been putting off for a good while. One of them is an electric panel. It's a couple of $100,000. So we can expect that we're going to be seeing some of those expenses that they have to deal with. And sooner is better than later. They have a new maintenance director who's got fresh eyes, and he's seeing things, the same things that have been seen, but seeing more of a sense of urgency than the person had before. So we can expect to hear that there are going to be some increased costs to maintain that building.
So Jack, they do have a capital improvement budget?
Right. There are a couple of large things, including that panel, that would use that up. So
Jack, is it like a public school whereby there are grants and monies available for them to apply for things that are similar to
and
this?
they've gotten some too.
They have,
Yeah.
so they go through the same
That
process.
too is competitive.
Yeah.
Because of their enrollment being up, that certainly helps. But it's just like us. We had a grant we were
Right.
fairly confident we should get, and sometimes the dice roll differently.
But the monies come through different channels for them than as opposed to us.
Yes.
And how are we disposing of old equipment? Are we paying to have that? Obviously, if we have big
Get a
cars.
dumpster, just depending on the situation, what it is.
What was that, Dr.
You'll have a flea market.
That's a great idea. We can raise money for the Education Foundation by having a flea market of our old equipment.
And then the approval of the homestead and farmstead real estate tax assessment reduction. I just want to remind folks out there who are homeowners in the community, if you get this in the mail, fill it out, to get a reduction in, it comes every year in your taxes.
I think Mike said he's going to do a blast.
Just want to remind
Yeah, we're
everybody.
gonna do
And the shade blinds, we're approving the ones made in the shade blinds. I saw the quotes and I know nothing about blinds. How was that determined? Is the warranty and stuff like that?
I think John's on. John, are you able to answer that question? Were you able to hear that?
Yes, I am. In the Made in the Shade company was a company that I discovered in previous districts for a long-lasting blind that gives you security in the room, but you know the people can't see in, but you can still a certain amount of light still comes in to give it a more of a natural look. In going back to 2 districts ago, we put them in cafeterias and classrooms, and we've had little or any repairs or warranty claims on them. They're very sturdy, long-lasting blind, and it's not something like wood slats or louvers that would get broken.
And we did have another company that submitted a bid too, right?
We did have another company, but they didn't have access, from what I understand from Bob, to the blind that we are actually getting. They offered a basic roll blind or the wooden slat blinds.
Will these blinds stay down permanently or do they go up and down?
They can go up and down.
Is there any products that we have to buy throughout the duration for cleaning purposes?
No, you should be able to just normal cleaning, dusting cleaning.
And these will be for every room?
These will be for every room that has windows. Yes, that was determined that needed them for student safety.
Thanks.
All right, I went down my list, Robin.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's okay.
Can I ask one other question? Mike, we started to talk about this the other day, and somehow I think we got sidetracked. The homestead exclusion and tax assessment, when you put that out there, people who apply for this, based on their income, can also apply for the rent, and, I mean, that's both of them.
There's 2 separate issues. It's not based on your income. You go in Allegheny County, we're gonna put it on board docs tomorrow. In Allegheny County, it gives you $18,000 off the assessed value of your house. It's pretty simple. If you lived in your house for a year, it's like 6 or 7 questions. You just answer. You have to apply by March 1st.
Right.
Then Allegheny County takes $18,000 assessed value off of your home for your county taxes and your school taxes.
Okay, but then that other thing for the rent.
We're going to get to it here in a minute.
Oh, you're going to get it on the
Yeah,
end.
the homestead's not for.
The homesteads,
That's a different, but.
Yeah, the homesteads for all residential properties in the community, we have almost 12,000, and I think a little over 7,000 actually take advantage of it. But from the school district's standpoint, we get 2.1 million from the state directly from them. We just deduct the difference off their tax bill.
My only question, we didn't get a chance to really get into it the other night, maybe we'll get into it now. Besides this, the homestead exclusion, that rent and mortgage rebate thing, that's a separate thing, but one person could possibly potentially get both.
Absolutely. A senior citizen, a disabled person could get both. Yeah, absolutely.
That was my question. Okay, thank you.
I may just have a question. John, for the grandstands, you're talking the railings and the blinds and the fencing that we're hoping to approve next meeting. Will they be ready for season coming up and for the school to open?
Yes, we only have a 5 to 6 week lead time on the blinds. I believe it's real close to that for the fencing once I get approval. And the handrails for the stadium, when I talked with Stadium Solution, they said they would have it for the football season.
Okay, I'm just wondering, for the fencing at Gateway Middle, would it be better to do an action item on that to give you at least another week?
Normally, within a month from it being approved, the fence is in place. So that would be up to you. All the time you can give us always helps, but it's something that I don't know if you absolutely need to do.
Might as well just wait till next week. 1 week, yeah, we'll just wait till next week.
All right, thanks.
All righty, so board member, have any? Nope. Okay, so comments from residents on non-agenda items.
Well, I actually
Can you go up to the mic? Yeah, thank you. That's so everyone else outside of the room can hear you.
I just have a question about 8.6, the Fred Rogers Institute. What exactly, has anyone ever come from there and presented to the board what they teach the staff?
No, they haven't.
Could we have someone come in to do that? I think that'd be a good idea if the staff are being led by this organization. I mean, with a name like Fred Rogers, how could it go wrong, right? But it would be wise to have someone come in and inform us as to what they're actually.
Interrupt one second. You use the verb led. If the staff is led.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. This isn't a professional development where they're leading staff and they're going to make the entire agenda. I mean, I'll be there, Dr. Rossi will be there.
Any kind of influence over the staff.
Do some gateway-related things there as well, like wrapping up the end of the year and talking about moving forward and some educator effectiveness stuff as well. So it's not, they're not directing the meeting at all.
No, I don't mean it that way.
They do partner with schools. I've been to several of their sessions, for instance, down the Carnegie Science Center with STEM and STEAM education as well, those types of things that can be discussed.
But we as board members can get the agenda, we can get the, whatever the curriculum, whatever the thing is.
Curriculum, yeah.
I'm sure if you wanted to Google it, you can get.
You can go visit St. Vincent. It's free, I think, to visit the museum itself. Yeah.
I trust you guys. That's what you get paid the big bucks to do. So I trust that you're selecting organizations and programs that are out there for our staff and for our students. In the best position.
Is this the first time we've done this?
Yeah, this is the first time.
Yeah, I think the community would like to be able to answer or ask questions or find out exactly, what this is for and what their goals are and philosophies, and that's important. Yeah.
Can I add something? Last year at PASBO, they had a motivational speaker from Fred Rogers. It was amazing. It really was. It wasn't like you would think. And just people getting along, how to work together, just simple little things, simple little tricks. And it was the guy spoke for like 2 hours. It's very interesting. It was well worth it.
Yeah, I mean,
The great bear from the Grable Foundation. That was probably who you saw. Yeah. So yeah, he's been.
What was it called again? What did you say?
He wrote a book on
Fred Rogers.
Yeah,
He wrote a lot of books.
schools.
runs
the Grable Foundation.
What's the name of the foundation?
Grable.
Grable, Grable.
Yes.
Grable.
Yes.
They're a big foundation.
So Fred Rogers is same as the Big Bird and all that?
No, that's Sesame Street. That's Sesame Street. And then there was an electric company too.
Yeah.
That's dating yourself there, Robin.
So I will.
Morgan Freeman.
The mission statement is the Fred Rogers The Fred Rogers Institute advances the legacy of Fred Rogers by investing in the strengths of family and caring adults to support the healthy development of children. That's their mission.
It's pretty simple.
Sounds great. Again, I think the community would have an interest in asking questions specifically, since we're the taxpayers and we're paying for it. Some of us might just have more specific questions. And then lastly, the QBS. What's QBS stand for?
QBS is the company that provides the training. QBS is Quality Behavioral Solutions, and they're actually providing the safety training for our employees so that they can be train-the-trainer models.
Quality behavioral solutions. So it's not about, is it about physical safety or, I guess, or
Yeah, it's both.
both psychological and?
Yes.
Are they going to talk about restraints?
Yeah, that's part of QBS.
Oh, yes.
So to be fair, it's comments, because we could be here all day asking questions, and we would love to get email for specific questions for specific people, but we just want to make sure that we're following the agenda and comments. So we'd be more than happy to answer those questions, and you can send them to any of us on the board. Yeah, any
Well,
of
I
us
just
sitting
did, so
here.
I'm done.
Okay.
I just want to know what, yeah, I'd like to see that Fred Rogers Institute presented here, and also I want to know more about the quality behavioral solutions. And I think the only way to know is for the community to have a presentation.
Oh, I hear you. All right. So, board let's see. You guys have an administrative notes.
Mike, can you throw the slide deck back up? Well, last month we recognized Dr. Levine for being the recipient of the Roy A. Hunt Foundation Award. And then this month, we're recognizing her for the WTAE Teacher of the Month. As you can see, they came by Cleveland Stewart Elementary School last week. It was a great event. She was totally surprised by it and was shocked. But it was good for Emily. She's done a really good job at CSE, and we're so proud of her and the recognition she received for herself and the students at CSE. A lot of stuff going on. I happen to be at University Park for their career day. I think Ramsey's is this week, so a lot of events happening. It was great to be there. I think I followed a wrestler who had the belt, and a medical professional. So a lot of interesting things there. You can see the 911 call center was there. Monroeville Municipality there with the lift. Monroeville Police and the State Police as well. So kids had a good time and a lot of learning too about careers.
So it's amazing that the elementary school can have a career day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we started early. Yep. Yeah. Yep. We want to expose the kids to what's out there. Yeah. Yep. Again, just want to thank our Title I readings specialists. We have 2 parent series. We held one last Friday, I believe, at the library. We partnered with Monroeville Public Library. You see all the goodies on the table there for the parents to take. The focus of this session was summer literacy and kind of stopping that reading slide that can happen. So again, thank you to our reading specialist and Mr. Matei who kind of helped facilitate this. Dr. Chakey?
Congratulations, Sri Lahara Sapram, been accepted into the Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Foundation. We had an opportunity to meet with her today, and she's excited about this opportunity. We wanted to spotlight this to really show some of the great things that our Gateway students are doing.
And then Mike has a piece here. We went over at the finance meeting.
For the senior citizens in the community, the Pennsylvania property tax rebate program is still June 30th of this year, so you still have time to file. It's for senior citizens, disabled people. It's for also senior citizens that own their home or rent their home. Deadline June 30th. You could get back $380 up to $1,000, but this is income based. It's based on your taxes from 2023, your real estate, your school, and your municipal. And then also the Act 50, which comes from Allegheny County. You can get $18,000 off your assessed value. You have till March 1st. You missed the deadline this year, but going forward, it's mailed out every year around December. We have the Allegheny Intermediate Unit mailing out to the residents that are not a part of it. So we'll have those links available tomorrow. I didn't get a chance today. We're going to set up something on our website and have all that information for our taxpayers.
We'll have the contact information listed because this isn't a Gateway Gateway thing. It's more or less a resource for the taxpayers. We want to make sure they're aware of it, and we'll have the contact information for both of those listed.
Just to add to the, for the senior citizens, your local rep will have that on. They'll be more than glad to help you. I believe they have workshops, and I think they have workshops at the library to help you fill out the Pennsylvania property tax rebate program.
Anything else? Okay, all right. So we're gonna have board committee reports, but before we do that, I just want to thank Dr. Rossi. From what I understand, the bus drivers were recognized last week and took donuts down there, and they said that's the first time anybody from any superintendent has ever come to their facility to thank them for what they do. So thank you for thinking about the bus drivers. All right. So, committee reports.
What was the source of those donuts?
What was the source of them?
I mean, any brand?
Sheets, I think we got them. From Sheets, pick them up from Sheets. Pre-ordered them in Sheets down there in Monroeville and picked them up.
Yes. Let's go there.
Do you have a donut factory we don't know about?
I used to love donuts, but doctors scared me.
Oh, okay. All right, any committee reports?
If you can, let Dawn Hall go first. She's going to do our.
Okay, all right.
Hello?
Yep, go ahead, you have the floor.
Hey, this is Don. Hey, I'm about to do our home plate meeting for this baseball game we're hosting with the umpires and the captains and the coaches. So I'll be brief. Some real good things going on in athletics. We, our tennis team, although they lost in the state quarterfinals as a team, have an individual and a doubles team going this weekend back to Hershey. We got high hopes for both of those. Adam Memegy is the singles guy, and Zanan Hassan and Logan Memegy, Adam's brother, in the state doubles. Our volleyball team won their first round playoff match and then lost to the #1 seed Mars after a great year, another great playoff year. And then we've been a very popular host for a number of sports, including a doubleheader volleyball tomorrow night. We've had a doubleheader baseball today, and we've got a tripleheader softball tomorrow, or excuse me, Wednesday as well. So exciting time of year as we wind down. My favorite thing though last week was I got to go to the down to University Park for Career Day and talk a little bit about being in the Navy and being an athletic director and stuff with a couple of fourth grade classes. Then they said other than Dr. Rossi and the police who got to show them cool stuff, that maybe I was in the top 3. So, but hey, thanks for everything everybody does on the board, and appreciate y'all. I'm going to jump into this meeting here. So thank you.
Thanks. Did I hear there's an NFL player that's having a summer camp here?
Yeah,
or is that just room?
Jaquan Brisker is having a camp July 13th. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a free community camp. It'll be great.
Cool.
And
Cool. All right, Michael and John, did you guys have anything before we go around with the board members?
Nothing for me, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing for me, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so Cheryl, I know you.
Building and grounds, yeah. And Dawn was there, as was John, and you can see who else was there. A lot of this was already on the agenda. We talked about the up at the football stadium, the railings, and so I'm not going to repeat that. But one of the things I want to talk about is this field over here. We did have a lengthy discussion about the field by the library. First of all, Monroeville didn't show up because there was a sewer problem. And they couldn't find the manhole, but we found the manhole after many years, and you can see it. I see that they started to put some fill in, because originally it looked like a beehive kind of thing, but now you know where that is. But that gives you a clue how much fill has to go in there if you see where that manhole is, because that all's got to be leveled out. So this is going to be, and John indicated to us, and we wondered, it's going to be a multi-year process for that field. This is not going to happen overnight. The fill is going to take a lot. Then they're going to have to excavate, and at least the sewers are fixed now. But then there's drainage issues, and you've got to have all of that addressed. So it's just a really long process, and John's really getting into it and had some suggestions, but it's not going to be something that's going to happen, because also it's going to have to, after we're all done, it has to settle, and it has to sit there before you put anything in, whether you put grass or, so just to let you know, you're going to see that sitting there like that for a while. I know it's a mess, it's going to be a mess, so it's being worked on, and we talked about it. We also talked about the band, and Dawn was there and John was there, and they're going to get with the band director and figure out how they're going to practice this summer and where. I mean, Dr. Ross, you had a couple ideas about how.
Typically practice in that lot there, but there's the field up above on 48 there. It's available too. But we'll talk with Mr. Stevens.
We're going to work on that. I mean, a lot of people are concerned about this field eventually being used, but given the fact that it's going to take years to get the library filled, we have to come up with some other options.
Years?
Years, plural, years.
That's settled.
Yeah, it's got to settle. Not only that, you've got to get enough fill. Finally found the manhole cover. It took them how many years just to even, the municipality didn't even know where it was at. So you can tell by looking at it how high up and how much fill, but there's a huge drainage problem with that. You're going to have a holding pond and everything. So just you're not going to see anything anytime soon. Let's put it to you that way. And all railings, including over by the auditorium, is going to be looked at and fixed. And we already talked about the railings. So that's basically what we talked about. And a lot of the stuff we talked about is now being up for a vote, like the blinds and whatever. So it's already on the agenda.
Do you have a meeting coming up?
Well,
okay.
When I know what's happening with me, I will tell you.
Okay, not a problem. Thank you very much. Susan?
Oh.
What are the dates for?
Let me start out with, the next meeting scheduled for the Curriculum and Equity Committee is Thursday, May 23rd, 6 p.m. Are we ready for that, Dr. Chakey?
Yeah, we are.
And
Sure, I can join online because I have something, so.
Can you join online?
Yeah.
You can send a Zoom link.
Yeah. I won't be physically present. Thank you.
So that we have scheduled, and looking forward to the initiatives of moving forward with that. A couple of things that's all as far as with the Curriculum and Equity Committee, but just some other things. Gateway Senior Night was last week, wonderful program of awardees, the Gateway High School students, and Valerie and I both were able to attend, so we were like double duty there for representing the board. Of course, we're on that, but we really were representing the Rotary because we are giving scholarships to the Rotary. In fact, the four who will be honored for the Rotary Luncheon this Thursday will be Nathan Weigel, Saddam Abazizi, Brianna Harper, and Jalen Shakes. So they will be honored this coming Thursday at the area. And the only problem with the senior night, and I think maybe you were aware of this too, is that it conflicted with the Forbes graduation, and I wanted to go to that as well. I have made some really good relationships and contact, and I don't know if you were able to get to it. Yeah. So, but the problem was the conflict because they were the same. I don't know how that happened. That doesn't usually happen, but I usually like to support our Forbes students as well with that. And one of the other events that was a couple of weeks ago now was the Ramsey Talent Show at the Ramsey Elementary School. They had it in the daytime, it was Thursday. They had it in the daytime and the evening. I went in the afternoon, and it was hilarious, but it was very nice just to be able at a second and third grade or lower level to stand up in front of all these people, kids and adults, and the kids were so gracious because there were a few that got up there and just froze and their friends hugged them, encouraged them, and I said it was really nice. But I had wanted to show something, but then I know we talked about, not you and I, Michael and I talked about releases and so forth. But I did want to show the teachers one. I didn't need a release for that, but I couldn't figure out how to send it over to Michael. I had them doing their 70s thing, and it is really cute, all the teachers in the school. So it was a very fun activity, and it engaged the community. Parents came out as well as the teachers were involved in it, so that was something very nice. And just so you know, the different things that are happening this particular month, as far as awareness, this is Motorcycle Awareness Month, and that being said, when I'm listening to the news last night, and the tragic motorcycle accidents, just seemingly one right behind the other in a matter of a couple of days, and that was very sad. This is also National Stroke Awareness Month, and regardless of your age, but particularly if you are a seasoned adult as myself, those are things you need to be aware of, the signs that go with that. This is also Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'm glad to see that schools are taking a lot greater interest in addressing that issue, especially since the pandemic. There have been more issues around that. National Nurses Day, but it was National Nurses Month, and of course National Teacher Appreciation was this month. And this is also National Physical Fitness and Sports Month, so let's all get fit. That's it.
Thank you. May I make a comment on your National Bike Month? There is actually a studied psychological study done. It's called inattentional blindness. So if you're at a stop sign and you look both ways, you actually don't see a motorcycle. There's something in you, because it's such a brief moment of exposure and your brain doesn't anticipate something as small as a motorcycle. It has been studied, and you can Google this. And the awareness is to make people aware of this so that they take a second look, because we're just not meant to see something so small so quickly versus a car, that you could see more peripheral. So I just wanted to bring that. I couldn't remember what the name of it was, but.
And it's supposed to be blind internet.
It's
blindness month though too.
Oh.
So I did see some of that, but I didn't bring that one up.
Yeah. So that's. I'm not excusing this behavior. I'm just saying that it is a psychological human factor that goes into that.
I just want to piggyback off Mrs. Delaney. There has been so many things going on with music from the middle school, high school, choir, the chorus, fourth grade, joining in with the fifth grade. And there's just so much going on. And I'm just glad to see the parents that are supporting their kids and just everybody. It's coming to the end of school year. So it's hard to believe that already. And June 3rd, graduation. It's hard. That's another one. That's it.
Thank you. Leslie?
No, just personnel. Or GEA negotiations are still underway.
Okay.
We had a safety and security meeting April 30th, and next week Dr. Chaikin will do a review of that. It was a great meeting. Dr. Chaikin did a terrific job. A few of us were here with his warning right there. Lots of good questions, lots of issues. So he'll summarize that. And a meeting or two ago, we talked about the firefighters tax abatement program, and Ms. McBride brought up some valid points about what the rest of the government is basically doing. In response, Representative Markosik would be happy to come and chat with us about that. So we need to figure out when we want to do that and extend an invitation to him. And if our schedules match up, we'll be happy to come and talk about that. That's it.
All right, thank you. Dr. Singh.
Yeah, so I don't have anything committee-wise, but I want to support what Susan brought about motorcycle. And I have first-hand experience. My son, our son, was a motorcycle rider. And in general, public considers on the road a motorcycle driver as a second-class citizen. You know, people in the cars, they think they have the road and not the motorcycle guy. And I think it's just a concept and they just ignore motorcycle and don't pay attention. So that's basically it. And they have the road as much as you. And same thing even I mean there hardly anybody rides bicycle on the road, so that's not a question. Otherwise bicycle cyclists have same problem. That people just
I gotta get one more. I'm touched by this. I've been riding motorcycles for
50 years.
Well, more than that actually. So, I mean, I'm touched to hear people are so concerned. If you ride a motorcycle a long time, you realize your safety is your job. You consider everybody a threat. No one's paying attention. And if you want to keep riding, you better ride as defensively as possible. I appreciate you calling attention to it.
Yeah, my husband's son was killed on a motorcycle. He was driving at 30. He was in his 30s.
This meeting started with Janet telling me about a number of motorcycle deaths, so I'm going to go on a ride. I just want you all to know.
Yes.
I'm going for a ride tonight.
Go out and get some fresh air, you know?
All right. I need a motion to. Oh, Donna, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I come home on Wednesday if anyone actually cares. We had the finance meeting last week, and I think most of you were already there. So I was just on remotely. So that's just the budget and the stuff that Mike presented about the bank account. So that's all I had.
Donna, I care. I just want to be on record.
Thanks, Jack.
I care.
Well, thank you. Yes.
I will be at a graduation.
Oh, yeah.
I can't get on between, it's an hour earlier there, so I can get on.
So Leslie made a motion.
Second.
And Val second. All in favor? Aye. Motion's adjourned. Meeting's adjourned.